All right, y'all. I got a quick question for y'all. All right, quick question. So, let's say you had the opportunity to talk to your past self and your future self. Which one would y'all choose and why?
Definitely pass.
You said pass?
Yeah, let me tell you why.
Okay, go on, get into the mic.
First of all, I'm gonna tell that bitch, stop fucking with these niggas because you're gay. That's the first thing I'm gonna say. But no, it's like really like I feel like there's so many things that I could have told like my past self as when it comes to like, like volleyball, when it comes to like opportunities that I might have had and that I definitely like turned to, like other doors. And I said, okay, I'm gonna go through that door instead of going through this or this or this. Of course, I do feel like everything does happen for a reason. I definitely would encourage myself to do other things. Like I would have encouraged myself to go through and take other routes. Yeah. Like even when it comes to like track and like, stuff like that, I do feel like I wish I would have done differently. I feel like most people feel that way.
Okay.
Now you.
Of course, I would definitely talk to my past self. One, because my future self already know what's tea. Like they know. My future self already know what's tea. So I don't have to put my future self on game. Okay. But my future self can put my past self on game. Yeah. To like look, you don't have to stress about this. You don't have to worry about this. Whatever's about to happen, it's gonna happen, and the main piece I would tell myself is everything is gonna be straight. Yeah. Everything gonna be straight. So if I knew that, I feel like my past self knew that, then I wouldn't trip over certain things, and I would just let it flow. Like water. I would just let the shit flow instead of worrying about it and things of that nature and whatnot. So yeah.
Okay. That's some great points from both of y'all. Great points. Now, don't worry, bro. I'm gonna get to you too. It's my turn now.
Period.
All right. So, for me, I'm the opposite. I would rather talk to my future self rather than my past self. And I'm gonna tell y'all why I would rather talk to my future self than my past self. Because let's say I'm able to talk to my past self, right? Okay. My past self isn't going to, I know how I was in the past. My past self isn't going to listen to anything that I say. Like, my past self isn't going to listen to me when I say, listen, some of these women don't deserve your time. My past self going to be like, you know what, she cute or whatever. Let me keep going for it. You know what I'm saying? My past self not going to listen to me when I say, sports isn't your whole entire life. You got other things you want to do, like this podcast, for example. My past self not going to listen to that. My past self not going to listen to like, hey, you need to stop going back and forth with your father, debating him all the time when at the end of the day, he gonna be one of your biggest supporters. And you just don't even know that. My past self is not going to listen at all, especially from 21 and younger. And the younger I get, the harder it's gonna be for me to kind of give that teaching. Like my past self will hear, but my past self isn't gonna listen. It's a difference. They're gonna hear it like, okay, I got you, but they're gonna still keep doing the same thing they want to do. Rather, my future self can tell me everything I need to do, and my present self is going to actually listen to what my future self has to say. Because now I'm in a place in my life where I'm all about improving my life. I'm more of a positive person. I'm, goal oriented, all this other stuff. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna listen to my future self. But if I talk to my past self, then we ain't gonna get nothing accomplished. So that's why I would personally choose my future self rather than my past self.
So do you feel like your past self wouldn't listen to how you are right now, given that it's you? Because for me, I do feel like it's the same way. Mm-hmm. I do feel like if it had been anybody else but myself, I wouldn't listen. Mm-hmm. But because it's you and you're coming back and you're telling you, right. I feel like you're intelligent enough to be like, okay, if he's coming back and telling me this, obviously I got to get something together. You know what I'm saying?
True. But I mean, think about me though, because I know how I was in the past. This is the thing. I would listen and I would know right from wrong. Okay. I know like, okay, what my past self is telling me is the right thing to do. However, my mind still isn't even developed enough to really listen to what they're saying. Like, like I said earlier, when it's like, hey, do not give your time to some of these women. Some women deserve your time. There's certain women that came in your life, they deserve your time. Fair. There's some women that came in your life, they did not deserve your time at all. But me, my past self, I'm gonna be like, okay, I got you. I'm gonna hear you, And there's gonna be somebody gonna come there and be like, you know what? You know, he didn't tell me exactly who it was, so you know,
I'm gonna give her the red flags.
Exactly.
They're not really red. They kind of pink.
Yeah, that's basically me.
Orange.
You know,
you hard headed if you can't listen to your future self.
I'm just saying.
That's some real hard headed shit.
I'm just saying, or like even like my like I said with my pops, it's like, you know, me and my pops used to always have debates and everything. I love my pops. Even when I was younger, I always loved my pops.
Yeah.
And me and him always used to have debates all the time. And it was a lot of times, it was on me. You know, a lot of times I would do a lot of stuff that literally I didn't even need to do. You know, giving him a hard time when I really shouldn't have given him a hard time.
Yeah.
And I could tell myself, listen, bro, at the end of the day, like this whole podcast, everything you see right now, all this stuff, you grind it even harder because your dad literally supported your dreams, invested. Your mom too. But you know, your pops really, it felt better when you like your pops is actually like riding for you and supporting the things you got going on. But my past self might listen, and then it might be one day we get back into it and be like, man, forget what my present self, you know, like my future self said or whatever, you know, like it's going, you know, you're not gonna listen at all, you know. But yeah, I'm gonna ask my brother because my brother keep trying to say something. So what do you want to say, man?
Okay. So I like y'all points.
Okay.
But this how I see it.
All right.
Like I'm not going to my past self because my past self made me as I am present.
Okay.
So why would I want to go back and talk to them and try to change them? Because in the end, it would change me.
Okay.
And I don't want to be changed.
Significant point.
So I will go to my future self because my future self is something that I'm trying to strive for. So I will go to my future self and be like, what did I do to get there? And then they can tell me.
Okay.
Be like, yo, you did this, bro.
Right.
Like you
Okay,
went
so
through
I
this,
have
you went through that, and then that's how you
follow
got
that
there.
blueprint.
So I have
I feel like I know what you about to say, but
so if your future self isn't as successful as you would have pictured yourself being, do you feel like that still would want to know?
I would still benefit because he's.
I agree. I'm not gonna lie. I think I might change my answer.
Either way, you're benefiting from what you
learned throughout that time. Yeah.
I would rather for my past self to come to my future self than my future self to go to my past.
Yeah, I
because,
agree.
Like, if you go to your past, it already.
That's tough.
Right. I feel it. But my answer's still gonna be the same. I put myself on game.
I still respect you.
I feel like at this point I'm 50-50 because I do feel like I could have changed things that I did when I was younger, and I could have like prevented a lot of things that were. But at the same time, that shit, it's character build. It is character building.
It is character building.
It does. You wouldn't be the same person you were now if it wasn't for what you went through.
To yourself, hey, okay, we're past this. Not you shouldn't change anything, but then you should be okay with what you're going through because shit gonna get better. But I want to talk to my future self, meaning that we are still young. You're not 40, you're not 50, you're not like got kids that's grown out of college type shit. So I want to know what I look like then, and then to your statement as in, oh, if I'm not that successful, okay. If I go to my future self is a bum, I can change my present self so that I don't end up like my future self.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's what I said. I was like, I'm definitely.
I can tell my present self, hey,
what did I do?
What did you do?
That I messed up at. Yeah.
Not even messed up.
Are you happy?
Like, are you happy?
Yeah.
Like, okay, you got to this successful place. You're this, and the third. But is this money making you happy?
Yeah.
Like, what were your downfalls that you feel like right now you regret that I can change?
What are the pros and cons of where you are right now?
Where you are right now.
Facts.
So it's like I'm whole when I get to where you are. I'm not just money hungry and I got whatever I feel success.
Facts.
I'm on top of whatever if you want to put it on a scale, but mentally, emotionally, what were you missing? So
yeah.
I can at least take that piece and change.
But I have another question. Do you feel like that there's any time that we'll be both emotionally, mentally, and physically acceptive of ourselves?
Yes.
I don't agree.
I don't agree. But I agree only
I feel like there's always going to be a moment where we're like, we should have done this. We should have done that. There's nobody that's going to be able to look back and be like, I should not have done that, because at the end of the day, present tense, you can be in the perfect position. You could be a millionaire, a billionaire. You could have all the money you want. You could, but that doesn't matter. At the end of the day, what we might think is perfect today might not be perfect in the future.
As society.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, what I'm gonna rebuttal there.
Okay, go ahead.
What I'm gonna rebuttal there is this. Like, I accept what you mean.
Yeah.
But I look at it as that person that I'm talking to is a higher level.
It is.
So so what he's saying to me, like, I would rather for the young me to come to me than for the old me to come to me. Because if the old me come to me, that means that's something terribly wrong that just happened.
And you can't fix it.
And you can't fix it. But if a young me comes to me, the future me, then that means he's just looking for guidance. So that person, that old me, is coming as in, like, sit down with me. Let me talk to you real quick. He's going to tell me, like, there's a lot of things you can't change. He's going to be more intelligent than me because he's older than me.
Thanks.
He's going to come to me, he's like, there's a lot of things you can't change. But here's some things that I say you can change. Because I'm older now. I look back at it and I'm like, I could have changed some things personally. Like, so look at me now. This is what I did. You need to do this. Boom. You're gonna hear. It's just like saying, like, people that done things to you, you may can't change that. He's like, I couldn't change that. It's gonna happen to you.
Okay.
It's going to happen. He's just gonna let you know, like, hey, this is going to happen. You can't change anything about that. But just know it's going to happen.
Okay.
This is how I did to get past that.
For me, I think it comes to the point where it's like, do you believe in fate?
Right.
Yeah. Do you believe that, okay, so we're talking about past, future, present selves. If you do, quote unquote, believe in fate, do you feel like when your future self is coming back to you, or even your present self is going back to your past self, do you feel like there's anything that you could have done to change that? Because at the end of the day, if you, quote unquote, do believe in fate, everything does happen for a reason.
Like, quote unquote, do your future self have faith in you changing?
No.
Or like listening to what you say?
No. I'm saying, like, when we say that the things that have happened to us in the past are fate, and that everything that we've been through is for a reason, it has created this character, and you said, like I said, at the same time, it makes me, in that aspect, it does make me agree with you, and like, I do feel like our future self to come back, but I'm like, even if our future self comes back, if that fate is what builds us to that point, do you feel like it would be of even any use for that future self to come back to the present?
Well, personally, I wouldn't want to mess with fate in general. But, like, as in the question, which one I would rather choose, then I'd rather, like, play with fate a little bit. Because
I feel that.
In my past, I don't want to change my past. Because, like, if you know about timelines, you go back and change some stuff. When you go back to your present, it's not going to be the same.
It's not the same. Okay.
All the people that you loved back then,
it's not the same.
Yeah. Okay. So, like, I would rather just be like, all right, I'm going to continue to be with the people I am in the present, but I'd rather go gather knowledge, and I don't have to change. Like, things are going to change because I have that knowledge. Like, it's going to automatically happen. But at least I know that, hey, if I was successful or not successful, then I could adapt to it. Because, like, just by not knowing, just knowing that you're successful or not successful is good enough for me.
Because if you believe in faith, like, I mean, for me, I believe in both faith but alternate universes. I feel like in the same moment that you're going through right now, there's a different dimension.
It's gonna do the same shit.
Thing that's happening. It might not end this way, it might not end that way, and that's because there are multiple, realms. There's multiple realms of shit. So if your future self comes back to you and say, hey, this is what happened to me in this realm, and it's like, this is the realm I come back to, because you can literally start either into this one, and this one. I'd rather take the knowledge, like you said, from each one of the future, so that I know, okay, this one did this, and that was wrong, but they also did this, so let me take that in my pocket.
Big facts. I'm definitely alternate realms, period. We're not going to talk about that, though.
But still, that is a leap of faith that you are taking, because it's like, okay, I'm talking to my future self, I'm gathering all this knowledge, this is a leap now that I'm taking of faith to change maybe
the realm that you're in.
And it's just like, if you believe in just little stuff like nirvana, you reach nirvana. When you die, you're at rest, you're at peace, or until you don't have to, or with reincarnation. You have to come back to retry to do this shit all over again because
You're a
you
different
took
person.
the knowledge from wherever the hell came back to talk to you and tell you, hey, I made it thus far, so I got the first goal that you have on your list right now as to being successful, but mentally and physically, I'm hurting.
Ooh.
Emotionally, I'm hurting.
Even
so
then,
I can't. When I die, it's just money.
Okay, so friend.
Even then, I look at it like, what makes you think just because you saw your future self, you getting there?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
So like you could see your future self and be like, I like, you know, like how she said, like, you know, you're going to an alternate dimension. Like, that's an alternate version of you. Like they were successful.
Yeah.
Like, but look at it, like you are still you.
And does success necessarily mean
like,
happiness?
What's the whole
like there's so
going
many.
Back to the past when that person made you. You know what I mean? You
can only build from him.
That's what I said. That's what I said. I was saying.
So like, just like how my brother said when he was hard-headed and things like that, he needed to go that route to be where he
had to break himself to build himself back up.
So what's the whole? So what's the whole?
I'm not a knucklehead no more. So let's talk.
Yeah, like what's the whole purpose of going back to that knucklehead anyway?
And that's why I said
because look, one, that knucklehead is gonna change your life.
He
got too much power.
He
got too much power. He's too stupid to freaking just change my life. I'm not talking
you need to be it.
Look, I ain't talking about you, but I'm talking about me. Like, look, I look in my life and I'm like, he too dumb and not knowledgeable. Like I
to even access what you're saying.
I think dumb isn't the right word. I think naive or something like that.
Naive.
That's a better word. He too naive and young to understand.
And it could be even stubborn.
Yeah,
it could be
even stubborn because he probably know what I'm talking about, but he don't want to hear me.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was saying earlier. I said like my past self would listen. I mean, they would hear me, but they wouldn't listen.
It's like talking to a little kid, bro.
But that's all of us. This whole everybody in this room can sit here and say there's been somebody, and there's always been that one person that sits there and be like, you don't need to do this. 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 And we sat there and was like, oh, okay. And then we went back and we did the same shit they said we didn't do.
But that's different than yourself coming back to tell you that.
That's what we say. That's what we say. We're talking about, at this point, we're talking about reincarnation. We're talking about like different things and like different dimensions and different realms. But at the end of the day,
as you get older, you search for knowledge.
Right.
Yeah.
But when you're younger, you don't. You just
you don't care.
You just living life at that point.
That's true. That's true.
So like, look, when your present self is looking for knowledge, you're not going to your past self because why? He ain't got knowledge.
That's true. That's true.
So you're gonna naturally go to your future self.
Yeah,
because your future self got that knowledge. Just from the fact that he got.
You definitely, y'all got both of you, Mick, and Vontae, y'all both got me there. I'm not gonna lie, y'all hit me at the future self.
Listen, I mean, my brother did most of the talking, but you know, I think it's only right now because I gotta stop y'all real quick because if not, we're gonna be going for a whole hour. Let's call some folks real quick. All right, so we can call some folks real quick and see what they gotta say. I'm gonna call my boy Isaiah. And I'm going to see what he got to say real quick. Let me see here.
Hello?
Isaiah.
Yo, what's good with it?
What it do, bro? This your boy Slxck the Don, host of the Glorious Weekday podcast. You're on a podcast right now, so do not incriminate yourself. You good, bro?
Yeah. Sure, I'm up here at work, chilling. Cooling it.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Listen, I'm over here with my girl Bri and my boy Phil right now. And we over here talking about
what's good with y'all? What's good with y'all?
Y'all ain't gonna say nothing?
What's good with you?
Yeah, everybody was quiet for a second. But no, bro, we was over here talking about like, past and present, future, all this different stuff, right? And my question to you is this, man. If you had the opportunity to talk to your past or your future self, which one would you choose?
Ooh. Damn, if I had the option to talk to my past or present self or future self, what would I choose? I think I would choose my future self only because I think that if I talk to my future self, see me, I don't like secrets and being in the dark about stuff, no matter how, no matter which way it goes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like, man, hey, look, talk to my future self. What can I do right now? You feel me? Make sure I'm on the good path, or I'm leaning towards a way that'll make me happy at the end of the day.
Okay, I feel that.
My past self, shoot, I'm like, shit, I know that, man. I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, man, I feel you on that one, bro. Like, listen, I'm gonna let Bri and Phil tell you what they said. So,
okay.
Yeah, Phil.
Okay, first of all, I said my past self. I said my past self because I feel like, okay, I'm not going back to find knowledge. What I'm just going back to do is just to comfort the inner child in me and saying, hey, look, your future's bright, your future's you gonna be okay. So just take it, take it as it is, and just let life flow. I don't think I would give myself too much game to like really alternate the future. So I don't really, I don't be making too many different decisions, and whatnot. But I would tell myself like, just chill, just let it flow. You're gonna be good. And I feel like that would bring my inner child, like my past self, some type of comfort to like, make to be okay, just to be okay with like certain things and whatnot.
Oh, that's smooth. I like that. I like that.
Exactly.
That's hella dope.
Yeah. Now, Bri.
I mean, it's not much to say to like add on to what Phil said, because we basically was talking about this earlier. I wish you would have been like able to like be in this conversation. So I feel like I'm kind of 50-50 because I do feel like your past like transgressions, even that if there may not be transgressions to you or to other people, they do affect you and they allow you to be who you are today. And if you don't go through those mistakes, you will not have been able to grow from them. You don't have any character development. All you're doing is you might maybe take advice from your past, the present self as to who you should be now. But that doesn't mean that's who you're going to be, because at the end of the day, you're not going through the nothing. You're taking advice and you're saying, okay, maybe. I feel like if you're taking that advice from that person, although you haven't gone through it, you're still saying it's still a 50-50, like a guarantee, because it's like you're not going through it. So you don't really quite understand it.
Right.
That's like saying, okay, be with this girl, she's not going to cheat on you. Be with this girl, she's not going to cheat on you, but she's been lying to you. She's been like giving you all these reasons not to trust her. But
heck yeah,
that's still not a person that you need to be with, although she's not going to cheat on you. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's so many different reasons that could make it seem like you need to be this person, but there's no there's no trial and error. If you don't have trial and error, you're not going to be the person you're supposed to be. So that's what I'm saying. I do agree that you should go back to your past person and be like, hey, that you should do this, you should do this, you should do this. But I do also agree that your future person should come back and be like, you're doing okay, you're doing great. What you're going through is going to make you the person who you're supposed to be. So there's so many. So you
can trust the process.
You have to trust the process. If you don't trust the process,
like
here you are.
factor.
Now you depressed.
Right.
Now you depressed. Like, you going through shit. You eating too much. You not eating enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't. There's no way that you're going to be able to be able to be the person you're supposed to be without going through the experiences. So that's why I'm so 50-50. You know.
Right.
Yeah, see,
it's like a balance factor. Like, yeah, positive and negative. Like,
there's always positive and negative. Always
black, white.
It's gray.
Big Libra energy.
No, see, for me, I agree with you, Isaiah. I said I would rather talk to my future self, and the reason I said that is because I know how my past self was. I know my past self was very naive. Wouldn't listen. Things like that. So like when I gave like examples, like let's say for example when I said sports isn't your whole entire life. My past self wouldn't even think of that because my past self didn't go out. My past self wasn't the one throwing the parties or whatever. My past self stayed at home, focused on sports, and that was it. I didn't focus on anything else. So my past self like, man, listen, I'm gonna change something to make sure that my future is different. Saying stuff like, hey, some of these women that you're talking to, some of these women don't deserve your time. Like you need to be focusing on someone else. Value yourself more. My past self wouldn't even think that. Or even just saying like, my pops, stop going and trying to debate this man on everything, because at the end of the day, this man is going to be one of your number one supporters. That's somebody that's going to be riding for you at all times. And I was like, you already know. I mentioned my pops on here numerous times and like, thank God that I had him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like my past self wouldn't even think that. My past self would be like, I love my pops, but man, we keep going back and forth, all the other stuff is whatever. I'm a man or whatever. Although I'm on like 15 or whatever. My past self wouldn't even think that. And also my past self was always a negative person, an angry person, things like that. So it's like you looking at like my present self, who is positive, who is more in like a happy space.
Right.
And you got my past self that was in a dark place, who also was very negative, didn't open up to people at the same time, didn't want to be around people. It was like, So that's why I say I'd rather talk to my future self, because my future self can kind of give me some guidance on some things, and I will actually listen to what my future self has to say.
Yeah.
Okay. Like that. Smooth.
Yeah, man.
There's so many ups and downs to everything.
Exactly.
Like everything has like a pro and a con. Like there's no set. I feel like that's why humanity is why the fuck it is.
Coming to play.
Yeah.
So what I say?
This is why I told you the other day. Just live life, bro. Like dead ass.
Yeah.
You don't know when you're gonna die. Don't try to look for it.
Yeah.
You don't know what the fuck the world is gonna be. So just
In
be
10
a good
years,
ass person, or try to have good intent
Just
behind
enjoy the
your
moment.
shit. Just enjoy each and every moment that you're in, because you don't know what's next.
Yeah,
exactly.
You don't know.
Man, I heard some good information.
Just imagine if you knew when and how you was gonna die. You was gonna do everything in your power to not do that. But
that's when it comes back to faith.
Eventually, you was gonna end up doing it because you was thinking about, oh man, I can't do this, I can't do that, and then you gonna die the same way.
And that's
exactly.
That's even in movies.
Just live your
Movies,
life.
video games. I don't know what y'all was watching.
Hey, hold on. We got a lot of folks talking at the same time. We got one person at a time.
That's why I don't like playing with timelines.
Oh, okay.
Because timelines, like just like you said, fate. Like that's my fate. That's what God has made for me. Like, so that's like me trying to go against God if I go to my future self. That's just like me going against God if I go to my past self.
So at the end of the day, you're saying,
just know that your faith in God, knowing your future and your past.
Right. Correct.
Just go.
That's the correct answer.
Just ride with it.
Yeah.
That's the correct
answer. Yeah, I think history is important. So if you know your past self to the core.
Live your life.
Yeah.
There's no other way too.
Exactly.
I mean, we want to talk to our past and present self, but like we can't. So
we cannot.
All you can do is just try to maybe internalize maybe what your present self would be or your past self is.
Right.
Because we know what our past self is. We don't know what our future self is. So it's like try to embody hopefully what you want to come back to talk to you.
Right.
True.
See, look, what's crazy?
True that.
God gives us a vision. That's why we have ambitions.
Hey, that's why you have
so
deja vu.
you already see your
That's why you
future
got a lot of
self.
shit.
Correct.
You already see your future self.
Right.
So that means you don't need to talk to him.
Yeah.
God gave you the vision.
You can talk to him now. You can talk to your future self now. You can talk to your past self now.
In your dreams.
In your dreams. That's what I said with deja vu. When you say, "Oh, I've been in this moment before," yeah, because your future self tells you right here in this moment.
You where you supposed to be. You where you supposed to be.
Okay, so maybe there's something that I was missing in this moment.
Yeah.
True.
Let my future self and say, "Hey, bitch, deja vu."
Yeah. I mean, Isaiah, that's all we have for you, man. You want to shout anything out before you go?
Sure. Hey, first and foremost, shout out Gore's Weekday podcast. You feel me? Hey, thank you. Appreciate y'all. Hey, listeners, y'all missing out. If y'all not listening, go ahead, tap in, do y'all thing. And look, for today's host, y'all have a good evening. I appreciate y'all for supporting my boy out there.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. And also, you want to shout anything out before you go, though? Like any socials and anything?
Yeah, follow me on Instagram at @KingLockedIn, AKINGLOCDIN. It's my lock page. I'm all for the natural hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And shout out my mama, shout out Graham.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So y'all already know we're gonna go on and put that at the bottom too. So make sure y'all gonna support my boy and everything. And I definitely got to get you on the podcast again. Whenever you in Houston though, whenever you in Houston, just let me know.
I got you. Appreciate it.
Anytime, bro. Appreciate you, man. I'm gonna talk to you later. All right.
Yep. Talk to you later.
All right, bro.
All right.
Okay. That was a great conversation and everything. And I feel like we've been on this segment for a good minute now. So it's time for us to go to the next segment, one of the funnier segments, which is Tell Me Why.